red, white, and blue. Colors that have represented freedom for all cultures in a country built by people of all cultures.
I was born in Bogotá, Colombia.
I got here when I was 15 years old.
Yo pasé al río Bravo por primera vez en 1947.
And while the Latino population's influence is growing in the U.S., it seems that something else is being lost.
I definitely regret not learning Spanish.
For some American-raised Latinos like Veronica Rios, Spanish is only a part of history.
I feel like I should know it and I want to know it, but I just never really learned.
And that seems to be the case for many. According to the Pew Research Center, 1/4 of Latinos in the United States don't know how to speak Spanish, and this figure is expected to rise to 1/3 by 2020. A statistic that upsets Latinas like Stephanie Ciabato, a trilingual student at DePaul University.
It's like a huge barrier that like 4th and 5th generation like kids are going to have to deal with, and it's unfortunate to not be able to communicate with your entire family.
Some may attribute this to the deep-rooted history of oppression of immigrants.
Ya va a ser 2 años.
Racism that Calixto Reino experienced firsthand upon arriving to this country in the 1940s.
En muchas partes de que lo veían uno como una cosa inferior a la gente blanca.
While about 24 million Latinos have migrated to the U.S. over the past 4 decades, more than 50% have entered the country illegally. And with the fear of being caught, some had no choice but to adapt to the culture.
Desgraciadamente es la verdad, es que mucha gente no sé qué les inculca a los hijos que como que les da pena hablar español. Creían que hablando más inglés tienen mejores oportunidades para conseguir mejores trabajos. Y se veían los trabajos, si usted hablaba inglés le daban más o menos un trabajo regularcito. Si no hablaba nada de inglés le daban lo peor, andar barriendo pisos, lavando trastes y todo eso.
And although the Latino population is rising in the United States, the number of Spanish speakers is decreasing, and most surveys show that people think it's important to know your native language. So why isn't the language always handed down from generation to generation?
In the town that I was living, there was no people that speak Spanish. So it was very difficult for me to keep the language with him.
I think it's more important at a like family level. They're the ones that should always want you to learn more languages.
And in a growingly diverse society, people of other ethnicities have also begun to speak Spanish in their homes.
If Americans that aren't even native Spanish speakers are making an effort to learn it, like why wouldn't somebody of a Latino background learn it?
They have options now to watch TV in Spanish, to listen to radio in Spanish. So there is no excuse. There is no excuse to stop speaking the language.
And despite all of those options, a new study from the Pew Research Center says that 90% of Latinos from the ages 18 to 29 watch their news in English, resulting in channels like Fusión, the newest venture between Univision and ABC that offers English programming for Latinos. And while it may be easy to say,
like I plan on teaching my kids not even just Spanish, I want to teach them have them learn French or Italian.
For 4th and 5th generation Latino parents, teaching it to their children may come as a challenge. Websites like SpanglishBaby.com offer helpful resources for bilingual families. Ana Flores, co-founder of the site, says that the first step to raising Spanglish or English and Spanish babies is recognizing how beneficial it is for them.
Just being convinced that their kids are not going to be confused, being convinced that speaking Spanish is actually an asset, right? Because there's still the misinformation from a lot of first generation immigrants that came into the country, and we're told that to assimilate they needed to speak English only.
Not only is it a matter of keeping the culture alive, studies have shown that being bilingual is very beneficial.
Academic skills are increased, and a lot of the benefits even transfer over to old age. There's a lot of studies going on right now about how it delays the onset of dementia.
And while it's still too soon to tell the absolute future of Spanish in the United States, there are many who are forever proud of their roots.
Siempre me dijeron que nunca me sintiera avergonzado de lo que soy.
Never feel ashamed of who you are. Always, if you don't know where you're coming from, always look, always ask.
I feel very proud of my Latina heritage, and it's something that I constantly try to learn more about.
a thought that has finally begun to take shape after a long, difficult history.
And it is not about the way we're dressed, and it's not about the way we look. It's about what's in our hearts.
And one that will hopefully preserve the color and spice of the Latino culture. For Good Day to Paul, I'm Nicole Suarez.